Exclusive contracted novel by Feilu Novel Network. Mu Yi. Revival of Yu Zhibo, starting from Concubine, crossing through the leaves of wood, becoming the only survivor of the Uchiha clan. In order to revitalize Yu Zhibo, Xia Fan had to decide on the strategy of having multiple sons to prosper the clan, and saving the clan in the harem. Yu Zhibo Clan 1, with a comprehensive potential evaluation of 29, you have obtained Chakra 1, Fire Escape, Fire Dragon Bullet. Uchiha Clan Member 1, with a comprehensive potential evaluation of 41, you gain 10 Spiritual Power and Samadhi True Fire. Yu Zhibo Clan Member 1, with a comprehensive potential evaluation of 328, you have obtained a 9 Go Jade Reincarnation Writing Will I. Zhuo, brother, I have put in too much effort for Zhuang Da Yu Zhibo. Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. Chapter 1. Revival of Uchiha, starting from Childbirth. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 1 Revival of Uchiha, starting from Childbirth. New books for collection. Fire Country, My Village. The residents of the Uchiha clan. Uchiha Sasuke walked on the road with hatred, confusion, and panic in his eyes, even a bit unrealistic. The former bustling residence is now quietly deserted. Ants licked the uncleaned blood, while crows let out piercing cries, making this place feel like a haunted house and cold. Because half a month ago, a heinous massacre occurred here. The rebellious Uchiha Itachi of the Uchiha clan killed all the members of the Uchiha clan and fled. The renowned Uchiha clan during the Warring States period almost completely dissipated. And the only remaining tribe members are Sasuke walked to a simple small building, where a handsome young man stood at the entrance. He is about 17 or 18 years old, with slender limbs, flowing black hair, and a handsome face like a standard accessory of the Uchiha clan. He also has the same ping-pong emblem as Sasuke on the back of his clothes. Brother Xia Yan. Sasuke's voice was a bit hoarse. Sasuke, you have returned from the hospital. Yu Zhibo Xia Yan looked at the young man in front of him and smiled softly, his voice soft. How are you doing? Do you feel any discomfort? There are only you and me left in the Uchiha clan of Nuoda. We must not have any more problems. Sasuke's lips moved and he bit tightly, as if trying to suppress the almost blurting cry. Yes. The Uchiha clan, only the two of them are left. One is the self deliberately let go by Uchiha Itachi, and the other is this lucky Xia Yan. The reason why Xia Yan was able to live is that before Uchiha Itachi exterminated his clan, Zhongren Xia Yan went out on a mission and did not return for 6 months. He was already recognized as a sacrifice by Kiba. Who would have thought that after Uchiha Itachi exterminated his clan, he actually came back? Just a few hours away. Come back early, he's gone too. Fortunately, I still have Xia Yanya. Sasuke bit his lip hard, almost breaking it and bleeding. Otherwise, he really doesn't know what to do when he's alone. Be good, it's okay. Xia Yan gently patted his back and said, don't cry. We are the last members of the Uchiha clan, representing the glory of the Uchiha clan. The man of Yu Zhibo would rather bleed than shed tears. Sasuke wiped his tears hard, turning his eyes red. Although Xia Yan has a slight sense of transparency within the Uchiha tribe. But now with only 2 people left, Sasuke immediately felt some warmth from his family. Xia Yan gently comforted for a moment. After a moment of silence, he asked, Sasuke, as the son of the clan leader, you should inherit the position of the Uchiha clan leader. Although you are still young, I will not treat you completely as a child. So, do you have any plans for the next docking? Xia Yanga, as the younger brother of the executioner, I am not worthy of being a clan leader. Sasuke chuckled bitterly, with a hint of mockery towards himself. But when I was in the hospital, I had been thinking for a long time. I wanted to revive my family, and then. His eyes were filled with hatred. Be sure to kill that man with your own hands. Although he is only a 7-year-old child, he is full of murderous intent. But soon, his murderous aura subsided and he looked up and asked. Xia Yang, what about you? I still have a clear understanding of my own strength. Xia Yan sneered bitterly and self-deprecatingly, there is currently no hope for revenge. So I plan to focus on it and do my best to revive Yu Zhibo. Sasuke nodded forcefully upon hearing the words, since that's the case, let's work together, brother Xia Yan. Strive for cultivation, make a name for yourself in the realm of ninja, and revive Uchiha well. However, Xia Yan shook his head. No, Sasuke, your view of Fushing Uchiha is too one-sided. Do you think the revival of the Uchiha clan is a powerful ninja? No. Xia Yan reached out and looked around the uninhabited base, saying, take a look at this base. The Yu Zhibo clan, consisting only of you and me, even if we practice crazily, we have become top-level experts like our ancestor Yu Zhibo Ban. We have no right to claim that we have revived Yu Zhibo. What Fushing Yu Zhibo needs the most is the population. We should start with giving birth. Upon hearing these words, Sasuke suddenly became confused. Adhere to originality and eliminate non-compliant commitment letters. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. The source has no content or has errors. Chapter 2. You are responsible for revenge, and I am responsible for giving birth. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Chapter 2. You are responsible for revenge, I am responsible for giving birth. New books for collection. Next, let's see if we can fool the two pillars. On the surface, Xia Yan's face seemed reasonable, but inside, he sighed lightly. Xia Yan is a traveler. When he realized that he had traveled to the most dangerous Uchiha tribe, he was completely bewildered. Why shouldn't this be the background for Itachi's extermination? So he first worked hard to cultivate, intending to learn how to kill a weasel like other travelers. But failed 18-year-old Xia Yan is still just a ninja. Although he cannot be called a tug of war, his qualifications may only be at the level of a Uchiha passerby. Then Xia Yan considered turning over Itachi, Jishui, and others who had been brainwashed by the 3 generations of Hokage. But ultimately failed. The brainwashing of the 3rd generation Hokage is deeply rooted, and although Itachi and Jishui can barely be considered positive Uchiha, they are even more paranoid than ordinary Uchiha. Xia Yan was regarded by them as a Diwu wisdom wave person, and their feelings were indifferent. Unfortunately, Xia Yan decided to use the power of his family to integrate the power of the entire Uchiha, and then contact other major clans of Kiba. Perhaps there would be some opportunities, but the result was still a failure. Yu Zhibo advocates power, but Zhongren has no right to speak. Okay, can't you avoid me if you can't provoke me? With this belief in mind, Xia Yan simply picked a task to leave the village and started playing fake death. Anyway, when he crossed over, he was an orphan with no relatives or friends around, and he couldn't have any feelings for Yu Zhibo. An accident forced him to run back to Kiba. Multi-child multi-fu system at the age of 18, Xia Yan, who has just reached adulthood, has finally welcomed the essential golden finger for travelers. However, the effect of this golden finger requires sufficient offspring to be effective. In history, there were 3 of the strongest fertility in the world, Xia Yan thought to himself. Ibn Saud, the founding king of Saudi Arabia, had around 160 children in total. During the Han dynasty, Prince Jing of Zhongshan, Lu Sheng, had more than 120 sons and no daughters. The second sultan, king, of Morocco, Mule Ismail, had 525 sons and 342 daughters. Their common characteristic is having money. Having status. There's a woman. So Xia Yan, a good historian, realized that in order to play a systematic role, one must first have money. The only thing he can rely on is the vast heritage of the Uchiha clan. So he seized the time to return to Kiba and then fooled Sasuke here. Sasuke furrowed his brow and fell into contemplation. As a 7-year-old child, Xia Yan's words gave him an extremely strange feeling. Revival of Yu Zhibo, not relying on his strength to surpass the masters of the ninja world, but on having children. This doesn't match his cognition. But looking at the people around him and the rare and desolate family residence, Sasuke had to admit that Xia Yan's words seemed to have some truth. Xia Yang, what you're saying makes sense, Sasuke frowned tightly. In order to revive Uchiha, the people of the clan are essential. Fame or something should be placed at the back. Just. He looked at his immature face. Is this a bit forced for a 7-year-old child? Of course you don't need to do these things now, Xia Yan smiled and said, your talent is much stronger than mine. If there is a chance to avenge Yu Zhibo in the future, then that person must be you. Killing that man is my responsibility. Sasuke breathed a sigh of relief and hurriedly said, Xia Yan, just come and work hard to have a child. Revenge or something can be handed over to me. Not only for revenge, but also for finding a suitable wife while practicing. Xia Yan glanced at him and said, this is your responsibility as Uchiha. Sasuke's expression was somewhat awkward. He is very annoyed by the chattering little girls in school. These ducks are so annoying, and I don't know why Naruto and his team always like to chase after girls. However, Xia Yan's words were not over yet. With a wife, you still have to coax and spoil her in order for her to give birth to a child for you. After giving birth, you also have to change the child's diaper, make complementary foods, teach her to babble, buy toys, and play with the child with your wife. Sasuke's expression became increasingly ugly as he listened. Just thinking about this scene, he feels like he's all over a boy. I can only look at Xia Yan eagerly. Xia Yan, can't we divide the work? I'm responsible for revenge, and you're responsible for reviving the family. It can be possible, but Sasuke, raising a child requires a lot of money. Xia Yan shook his head and said, I'm just a poor person who can endure. With my own strength, I don't know when I can revive Uchiha. This is simple. Sasuke snapped upon hearing the words, Lord Hokage of the 3rd generation has talked to me. Although the members of the Uchiha clan have died, their assets are still there. According to the system, they will be left to us. We are not short of money. But Sasuke, these are all things that belong to your clan leader's heir. How can I take them? No. Brother Xia Yan, Itachi has committed such a great crime. How can I have the right to inherit the clan leader? Not to mention that our Zhibo clan has never talked about bloodline, only strength. I think it's most appropriate for you, Brother Xia Yan, to become the clan leader of the Zhibo clan. But. Xia Yan frowned lightly. Sasuke said without hesitation, that's settled. This kind of hard work and tiredness, let's leave it to Xia Yan. He doesn't want to revolve around women all day long. Xia Yan looked embarrassed, but under Sasuke's pressure, he still said helplessly, all right then. So you are responsible for avenging Yu Zhibo, and I am responsible for strengthening Yu Zhibo. Brothers unite, their benefits cut off gold. Come on. Pop. One big and one small hands tightly clasped together, their gaze incredibly firm. Recommended old book, Fire Shadow. I have unlimited skill points. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The source has no content or has errors. Chapter 3. Am I the chief of the Uchiha clan? New book. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 3. Am I the chief of the Uchiha clan? New books for collection. Sasuke is completely sincere. What's wrong with Gei's name? As the only legendary man in Hokage who has stabbed his own girl, not to mention Sasuke now, he is the Sasuke of the future Boruto era. Despite shouldering the heavy responsibility of building a strong Uchiha, he only has Sasana's daughter. And for such a daughter, there are rumors online that Sakura, seeing Sasuke not coming home every day, left Kiba in a fit of anger and caught Sasuke. That night, he did something good and only then did he mention his daughter happily. Sasuke really doesn't like women. I feel that if it weren't for Sakura's amazing obsession and persistent entanglement, and Sasuke's beloved Naruto marrying a wife, perhaps the Uchiha clan would have cut off their bloodline in his generation. Xia Yan believes that this wave is completely a win-win situation. It was Sasuke who took over the position of clan leader, which surprised Xia Yan a bit. Sasuke actually values Uchiha a lot and should also care about this father's position as clan leader. However, when he saw Sasuke's relieved expression after confirming his acceptance of the position of clan leader, Xia Yan also roughly understood. He probably has a guilty heart towards me. Itachi is Sasuke's brother, but he has committed such a great crime against the Uchiha clan. Although Sasuke now regards Itachi as his enemy, his sense of guilt towards his people has never diminished. In the future, Sasuke's excessive pursuit of power is not only due to his hatred towards Itachi, but also largely due to his shame towards his tribe. Although the clan leader is precious in Sasuke's heart, he also has a sense of mission to lead the revival of Uchiha. But precisely because of this, the guilt in his heart eased a lot after handing over this position. The two chatted for a while again, then separated. Sasuke began to practice crazily. Xia Yan was not idle either. He began to organize the inheritance of the Uchiha clan. It's really like being bitten by a dog. Many high-end ninjutsu scrolls have been looted, and almost all financial resources such as money have been looted. There are also very few cultivation notes left in the homes of various elite Yukabo. This obviously cannot be the work of Uchiha Itachi, but rather the means of a certain Hokage lord who refused to disclose his name. Xia Yan only glanced briefly, then without hesitation, put down his work and contacted the major ninja tribes of Kiba as the new Uchiha clan leader. One is to notify the major families that the Uchiha clan leader has been replaced. The second is to give an official answer due to what happened to the Uchiha clan. The major families are very prestigious, and even 3 generations of Hokage have come as the head of the ape-flying clan. As the new head of the Uchiha clan, Xia Yan, in front of many other clan leaders, rebelled against the arrogant image of the Uchiha clan and burst into tears, causing great sorrow among the major families and causing 3 generations of Hokage to sit restless. Ape-flying Sun / couldn't help but whisper a few words to Sasuke, with a hint of cliché as like, "Did Xia Yan force you to give up the position of clan leader? Should we, Muyi, help you stand out?" It's just that Sasuke genuinely gave way, so nothing happened. It's a pity. Monkey-flying Sun Jian thought to himself, it seems that some of the things he swallowed need to be sent back. Although Xia Yan has average talent and insufficient strength, he is still an adult and has some understanding of family assets. If the person in charge of Uchiha was Sasuke, a deceitful 7-year-old child, he would only leave behind a few useless ninjutsus, enough for Sasuke's life, but not too much money. But when faced with adults, he is still a Chinese ninja with certain strength, so he cannot do so. The official statement is that Itachi secretly killed all Uchiha people. This is actually quite forced. Can't you still say that Itachi didn't run away after killing people, but instead slowly searched for money and ninjutsu scrolls? This is also a bit underestimating the wooden leaves. The major families of Mai are already full of sorrow and resentment towards the death of rabbits and foxes. If something else happens, I'm afraid it won't be possible to solve it through small means such as Tuanzang being dismissed. So the next day, Xia Yan, who continued to tidy up his inheritance, found at the homes of various Uchiha clans had a lot of cash, property, shops, as well as some high-end ninjutsu scrolls and some practice notes. Of course, out of 10, the 3rd generation Hokage has already copied these ninjutsu scrolls and cultivation experiences once. But this is a small matter. The 3rd generation Hokage is quite impressive in his work. He almost returned all the assets, money, shops, stock certificates, etc., of the huge Uchiha except for the ninjutsu scroll intact. In the hearts of the 3 generations of Hokage, the most precious legacy of the Uchiha clan is the various ninjutsu techniques that made Uchiha the hegemon of the Warring States period. Since the best thing has already been obtained by oneself, one can be more generous in other aspects and give outsiders a fair and just attitude. Today, Xia Yan has finally completed the sorting of the heritage of the Uchiha clan. Let's have a drink to reward ourselves, and at the same time, let's marvel at how I finally became a billionaire that I couldn't even imagine in my previous life, ready to spread my branches and leaves. Suddenly, I heard several footsteps kicking. Looking up, I saw a beautiful figure rushing towards me. Xia Yan. Pop. The voice of Qianying was filled with surprise and concern. She strode over, opened her arms, and tightly embraced Xia Yan. Suddenly, a faint and elegant aroma rushed towards her, and a soft feeling surged in her heart. Great Xia Yan, you're still alive. Recommend the old book, Pirates. The Divine Skills of the World. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The source has no content or has errors. Chapter 4. My best friend says I'm good at having children. New book seeking. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 4. My best friend says I'm good at having children. New books for collection. Snow, why are you here? Xia Yan looked at the girl in his arms with some confusion. She was a former teammate of Xia Yan, a beautiful civilian ninja. However, his talent is just average, not comparable to the Hokage disciples like Sakura and Lin, and now he is only at the elite level of endurance. I heard you're back. Great, I knew you wouldn't die. Xuanai's eyes were moist, and she tightly hugged Xia Yan. Her arms were strong, and her palms were tight, as if she was worried that if she relaxed a little, the person in front of her would fly away. As a ninja, Xia Yan naturally has teammates to rely on. However, as he planned to feign death, he deliberately chose a teammate who had just been injured to go out and complete a mission alone. He successfully feigned death. It is said that this example was also pushed to ninja schools as teaching material by the 3rd Hokage as the consequences of a lone wolf. Don't cry, Xia Yan whispered, crying again won't look good. Well. Snow's eyes were still red. She looked around at the quiet station and the unwashed bloodstains on the ground. I wanted to come over before, but there are secret guards outside your family who won't let me in. Xia Yan, Yu Zhibo really? Snow hesitated to speak. Well, really. Xia Yan nodded and said, now Yu Zhibo only has me and Sasuke left. Xuanai's eye sockets instantly turned red again. She gently, as if afraid of hurting the person in her arms, hugged Xia Yan and said to herself, why is heaven so unfair? You have only returned to the village to the brink of death, and... Her voice was filled with heartache. Suzuho gently caressed Xia Yan's back and said, Xia Yan, it's okay, don't worry. Uchiha is the ninja who created Kiba, and Kiba will not let Uchiha go unchecked. Xia Yan listened, his eyes twitching slightly. Miss, you probably don't know that Mu Yi contributed about 99% of the credit to the extermination of Yu Zhibo. If it weren't for the decisive request of the 3rd generation Hokage to block the residence of the Uchiha clan when he returned, Ape Flying Sun / would have had to send manpower due to face pressure. It is estimated that the clan's assets and ninjutsu scrolls would have been lost now. However, Shui was still gently comforting, saying, 3rd generation Hokage adults will not sit idly by. Perhaps major families will also help. And I will also help. Speaking the last sentence, Xuanai's face turned slightly red and her voice was very gentle. If she didn't listen carefully, she wouldn't even be able to hear it. The two chatted for a while again. Shui couldn't help but ask Xia Yan about his next plans. Xia Yan was also polite and fully revealed his plan to revive the clan with a big stick and save the clan in the harem. The revival of the Uchiha clan requires children. However, in the world of Naruto, although there is no convention, the default among ninjas is still monogamy. On the other hand, the high-ranking officials and nobles of the Fire Kingdom had their wives and concubines in groups. One's own changes must be publicized in order for women like Kiba to become familiar with them and seize opportunities more easily. Yu Zhibo really need new blood. Xuanai blushed but nodded without hesitation. This is for the sake of the family. Xia Yan, you still need to work hard. Oh, by the way, you haven't come home for half a year, and your house has accumulated a lot of dust. I wanted to help you clean it up before, but your people didn't let me in. Let me help you tidy up the house. Living in a clean room can also make you feel better. As she spoke, she rolled up her sleeves with a smile and started working. The time for the dark blockade is limited, so Xia Yan naturally prioritizes tidying up important items such as ninjutsu scrolls and property certificates. Where to live? If it weren't for the ninjas being accustomed to a difficult life, they wouldn't have been able to survive. The big cleaning is starting. Not only Xia Yan's room, but also the dark red blood stains on the ground outside need to be cleaned up bit by bit. By chance, it turned dark. Xia Yan thought for a moment and said, "You stay here. It's too late to return to your home now. Don't worry, the bedding in the room is all clean." Snow blushed and nodded lightly. That evening, Xia Yangang just lay down. A faint and fragmented sound rang out. Snow gently pushed open the door and walked in. "Xuana, you are." Xia Yan was momentarily taken aback, then smiled helplessly. "I need to revive Yu Zhibo, maybe not a qualified husband. I don't care. I don't want to be like before anymore, I can only secretly look at you in the dark." Snow's face turned red, and she trembled slightly, like a panicked little rabbit, with a shy voice. But the action was without hesitation. "And Xia Yan, do you know that my best friends say that a girl like me is the best to have children?" Recommended old book, The Strongest Salted Fish Boss. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The source has no content or has errors. Chapter 5. For the revival of the Uchiha clan. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 5. For the revival of the Uchiha clan. New books for collection. The forest flowers withered in spring, too hasty, but unfortunately, cold rain came from the morning and wind came from the evening. Tears of rouge, getting drunk after leaving, how heavy it will be, it is the eternal hatred of water in life. In the morning, the sun has just risen. The two embraced each other, looking at the fresh and shy melon seed face, the clear and loving big eyes, and the figure praised by their best friend as easy to raise. Overnight, there were several major wars. But when I was a little tired, I confided in each other in small pieces. Shue's eyes were watery with tears. In the mission, it was you who painstakingly started cutting down enemy ninjas and saved me. I am weak and despised by my teachers and teammates. It was you who generously taught me your ninjutsu. During the 6 months without any news from you, every day and every night, my mind was filled with regret for why I was hurt before and not being able to go with you now. I won't hesitate anymore. At noon, the sun is very hot. Sasuke came over and wanted to inform Xia Yan about his school situation, but he found that Snow was sitting next to Xia Yan with a shy expression on her face, and there was a slight abnormality in her sitting posture. Occasionally, a hint of love-pain flashed between her eyebrows. Although Sasuke is still young, Hokage world is very precocious, and ninja schools are not afraid to teach some adult problems. He immediately understood. Then I was greatly amazed. You are truly Xia Yang. The great cause of the revival of the Uchiha clan began so quickly. Uchiha Sasuke felt emotional inside. Then, as a member of the family, he carefully scrutinized Shue Noa and gave him a hint of immaturity in the eyes of adults, but it was an important test in Uchiha Sasuke's heart. What do you think of polygamy? Do you have any thoughts on having children? Are you willing to contribute to the revival of the Uchiha clan? Shue blushed, but she didn't hesitate to answer. And then, okay. This is the good wife of my Uchiha clan. Sasuke excitedly gave her a thumbs up. I've seen my sister .in.law, and she needs to work hard with Xia Yanga in the future. Snow blushed and nodded. Have you also gained the recognition of your little uncle? Although this little uncle is a bit too small, of course, Xia Yan would not apologize to the beauty in terms of etiquette. We will start our wedding soon. After marriage, according to the system, the wife who changed her name to Uchiha Snow became more gentle and lived a happier life. I don't know if my best friend's evaluation of being easy to raise is too fair. 1.5 months later. Shue is pregnant. Husband, I seem to have it now. Ha ha ha, good. That's great. Snow, thank you so much. Xia Yan laughed heartily, while Shue listened, but couldn't help but turn a white eye in anger. Working day and night, isn't it hard? Both of them are very happy. Of course, what's even happier is Sasuke. Do I have any new members of my clan, Yu Zhibo? Sasuke's eyes were filled with tears, even more excited than Xia Yan, who was about to become a father. Despite their obstruction, they forcefully pulled Xia Yan and Shue Na onto the streets to purchase a large number of pregnancy and baby products. Even though Shue couldn't help but laugh and cry, she said it was too early and she didn't need those yet. But he doesn't care at all. Prepare early and have peace of mind. He even almost said. Everything for today, let him help second young master pay for it. Shue couldn't help but cry and laugh. But looking at Xia Yan, who was asking her friend who was the best obstetrician at my hospital, her heart was filled with sweetness. A large number of pregnancy and baby products. Experts from the specialized my hospital were specifically hired for examination. Various delicacies suitable for pregnant women that are purchased at any cost highlight a wealthy person. But as soon as they got through, the three of them were also a bit tired. Sitting at the Tuanzi shop, Xia Yan suddenly looked up. Hey, Red Bean, are you there too? Xia Yan. Are you guys eating? A woman wearing a mature and sexy standard silk screen-based shirt with a doll face walked over. Yusho washes red beans. Nowadays, she is not a particularly good ninja examiner, just a ninja from Kiba. She can be considered a student at the same time as Xia Yan. Yeah, I'm tired of shopping. Sit down and take a rest. Xia Yan smiled and said, how about coming over and trying it too? Red Bean glanced at the clusters of dumplings on the table and silently swallowed his saliva. This thing is her favorite. Okay, Red Bean readily accepted. A few people chatted casually, but Xia Yan couldn't help but take a few more glances at Red Bean. Red Bean seemed to a bit poor. Looking at the economic situation of ninjas, one can tell from the use of ninja tools such as Kyumo. Although Kyumo used by Red Bean cannot be considered inferior, it still belongs to an ordinary level and is only loved by ordinary ninjas. Looking at this guy again, although he doesn't seem to see anything on the surface, the chewing speed of eating dumplings is much faster than that of ordinary people, and soon there are a lot of bamboo sticks left. It seems like it hasn't been eaten for a while. It shouldn't be, Xia Yan said to himself. The Yusho washing clan is an old family of Mai. Although their fame and strength are average, they haven't produced any experts like the Yusho washing Purple Cloud among their peers, but they are still decent. Red Beans are Zhongren, and with the help of their families, it's impossible. No, it's indeed possible. As a confidant of Orochimaru's ninja clan, during Orochimaru's defection, the Satsumi clan also naturally accepted the investigation of Kiba. From all sides, suppression and liquidation are also inevitable. Yusho Zaihongdu, who was once a disciple of Orochimaru, had a great reputation, but it was already a miserable time. Although they may not be deliberately suppressed due to their own innocence, don't think about what support the family will provide. The Yushoshi clan is also afraid of being misunderstood by the high-ranking officials of Kiba and needs to avoid suspicion. Considering that Red Bean's main ninjutsu relies on the snakes in Dragon Cave, which has always had a great appetite and consumes a lot. With a small income, I really need to save a bit. Of course, this situation is only temporary. As time goes by, the need for avoiding suspicion gradually disappears, and the support of the family will also recover. And Red Bean itself will also advance to become a special ninja, and in the future, she can even become the main examiner of the Chinese ninja exam. Which means that she was already accepted by Kiba at that time. Restoring the situation on Red Bean, Xia Yan no longer cared. Snow, on the other hand, squinted her beautiful eyes as she looked at Xia Yan and then at the handsome and graceful Red Beans, which made her unable to help but ponder. Wait for Red Bean to leave. Shui suddenly spoke up. What do you think of Red Beans? Recommended old book. My sister is Nua. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The source has no content or has errors.